everybody. Just wanted to give you all a little show real quick. It's about noon here at Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this is what we have going on right now. The beginnings of Attu's moon and Attu. All right in here, especially here. So if the sun is facing the south, then to the east is where Attu and its moon are located. Hey Carol and Robert, hey there. And then across from the sun, typical Nepicity. I think you guys are picking up on that it's across from our sun like a good majority of the time, especially during the midday. And then to the west is where we start seeing Ice Atom, with usually Nibiru peeking around from behind. And especially when it's really hazy like this, you all know that drawing that Sam has where it's Ice Atom and Attu's moon with the crafts. Well, that's what we're seeing right now. And when it's like this, that's what's going on. It's that drawing. It's crazy when you just look straight up and as far as you can see is like them, you know? And right in here, if I can zoom in, it's hard to see, but underneath Attu's moon, that real speckled streaks, that's the OCG, like clusters of asteroids. We see mostly all of that happening with Attu and its moon, like lots of OCG and more crafts with Attu's moon and Attu than any of the others. So I could just stand here and go in circles and get dizzy, but y'all can see it's like very consistent. I mean, it does change up, but you know when it's hazy like this, that's what's going on, is that circle of planets, like in every direction. Hey Leandra, how are you doing? We still gotta talk, girl. That day was a crazy day for me. There's just of all times, but we definitely got to get that together. I wanted to do this earlier, but I was like running errands for people and whatnot. It was frustrating because I couldn't stop earlier. I like rushed home, and then my family was hungry, so I stopped and made sandwiches for everybody. And I'm just hoping it would stick around long enough to come out. So we'll go back the other direction. So like right here, like just to the right is where you'd see Ice Atom's moon. Like, you know, just to the right of the sun. And then of course there'd be Ice Atom. And then you can see like the curvature of Nibiru. The dark blue curve right there. And if you look really closely, you see a band going across the sky. That would be Ice Atom's ion tail. It's like going across to the right of the sun, usually a band or a streak. Kind of looks like something is like right above me too. Huh. Yeah, this is where Nepicity is. So right in here you can start to see how it's, you know, it has like these streaks that vertical streaks, and sometimes they're like slanted and whatnot, but that's what we're seeing here is that drawing where Nipicity is at a tilt. That's what's happening here. You can see the curve even right there, going like a big curve. See it? Okay. And then back over here, Atu and its moon. I don't see Uri so much right now, but I have been lately, a lot of Uri. Actually, I kind of do see. You know, they're all so close together. You just starts to blend several clouds at one spot. Anyway, that's what's going on here. I'm always looking to see what online who else has the same sky as I have. Yeah, the sun flickering. I just saw your message. Yeah, you know, let's just talk about that for a second, because yeah, I mean, we know we got lots of good videos like from the Mexico sky cams where the sun is definitely flickering, right? And we understand from Sam that it's, you know, planets brushing up, you know, against our sunlight, as well as debris passing in front of our sunlight. So, but I've also seen times where the sun is flickering and it's definitely my phone, my camera, like trying to focus. So I just kind of determined, you know, that when it's just non-stop no matter what, because I can't get into focus, I believe, you know, that's camera related. But there are times where it's sporadic, where it will blink and stop for a few moments and then blink real good, you know. That I think is the real flickering. So because I didn't have the kind of flickering I have until I got this new phone, this newer phone, and I noticed right away it was, you know, if I try to zoom in, it will definitely flicker 100% of the time. So if I could zoom out, I would, because I believe that's part of the issue. But I guess when you go live, you only have that one option. At least as far as I can tell right now, I can't zoom out. Because probably it would quit flickering if I could. Yeah, weather cams. I mean, if I'm not like working on stuff for the group, I'm always working on stuff pretty much. But yeah, I love watching all the sky cams and the Mexico webcams. It's interesting though, they don't really let you record them. You know, it's a live feed only, so you can only watch it, right? I mean, there's been several times that I would sit there for probably like 3 hours taking about 900 screenshots of a live cam excuse me, and then, you know, turning that into a GIF, which I turned into a video. It was a process for sure. I haven't done that in a while since I've been finding some good footage to use, but when I first started, that's what I would go through. Yeah, the black dot, yeah, that's for sure. It's funny because I haven't really found a pattern for that. It's just either there or it's not, you know, so. Which, for those of you who don't know, the dot that we're seeing in the sun, it's not a sun simulator. It's a alien operated craft called an Empire orb, and to our knowledge there's only one Empire orb. So I don't know a lot of the details on who's operating it and what they're about, but I'm going to see what I can get from Sam when we start our visits. We've had trouble getting connected, but should be soon. I have some questions myself. You know, I've had years to think of these things I would love to ask him, so I'm looking forward to it. Those lines right there to the right of the sun, that's consistent with Ice Adam's moon. There's a drawing Sam has where at the bottom of the bottom of Ice Adam's moon, he's got these horizontal lines. Well, that's what's happening right there. So, and usually at this time of day, you can look up and see like Nibiru is curving to the right of the sun, and Uri, you know, in the far back is curving to the left. So it creates, sometimes you can see the edges perfectly. Right in there. That's probably the lead object. It's starting to really take shape, but you all can see a circular shape, right? With these horizontal lines trailing, but it's right there. And if you take a step out, it's most likely Atu's moon in front of Atu. Like they're just stacked together. And so, yeah, the more streaks we see here, the more it looks like Uri right there. So, it's pretty fun just to stand here and, you know, diagnose whatever it is. I'm curious what people driving by think. I mean, I live right outside of downtown Tulsa, and so there's just a lot of the cars, right? So I'm sure they're curious. Trying to see what messages may have come up, but I can't even tell how many are watching. It looks like 8, 10. Cool. I know it's like the middle of the day, so. And for a second, I debated on going live here or on TikTok, you know, because things are going well. I'll mention that on TikTok real quick. Like, we're up to a little over 15,000 followers. And that video I have about Sam, that one has over, well, one of the times I've shared it, has like 33,000 views and about 700 shares. So that's pretty good. But I'm sure y'all know that newer picture of Atu's moon from a couple of days ago over New York. Yeah, I shared a video on that, and we got a lot of new followers just because of that video, because it's so obvious. Really good picture. That was by Cynthia Rios in New York. She's in Rockaway Beach. So back over here at Indepicity, it's doing its thing. I mean, you just really got to pay attention to the details, because you'll get to where you remember. You'll be like, yeah, I know, across from the sun, and it's looking, you know, like this. Yeah, see how it's fanning out? I mean, it's obvious Nepicity. It's perfect right now. But, and you can't really stress enough. I mean, this is what held me back for so long, I think, is because I didn't understand this. But once Sam made it clear for me about how the location is more important than anything, You know, that's when things really started to fit together. Like, you just know if it's over here, it can only be, you know, Attu's moon, Attu, or Uri. That's because the planets aren't crossing over from side to side of the sun. So you have it narrowed down. So you can only be 3 things, right? Well, then from there, you just look at the clouds and you determine what features belong to what planets, and it's just narrowing it down. So we know over here it's Attu's moon, Attu, Uri, and same thing over here is going to be Saturn's moon, Saturn, Nibiru. Same thing, always, until Sam says otherwise, until they do start moving around. Because back when I was early at this, it seems like Attu's moon was to the right of the sun. You know, it does change, but it every so often. It's been like it is now for at least a couple of years, maybe more. I see my son said hello. That's nice. Or at least he's watching. I mean, we have difference in opinions, you know. I mean, I have all the support in the world, but at the same time, my own family, you know, doesn't really totally agree with me. Alan, he sees it pretty well. I've helped him a lot, and he understands quite a bit. So I'd say he's been a great student. But my son, you know, he's got his own ideas. And then my other son, I have two sons that live with me. He doesn't even want to hear about it, you know. So that's where we are, and that's okay too. I think it worries him, and he's still young, and he doesn't want to deal with it. So I respect that for sure. So thank goodness I have all you guys. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really anybody else to talk to about it. Okay, so we got one chemtrail so far. We can keep count. I saw one earlier when I was running errands. So 2 I've seen today. And we know that 2 planes can't do all this. I think once people think about that, a lot of them would snap out of it. I mean, yeah. I just thinking about how I used to be like really caught up in that. I was like in the chemtrail groups, and I would go out just to take pictures of chemtrails. That's what I was doing at the time. So I totally get it. But if you watch it long enough and you start watching like time-lapse videos, you know, then it starts to make sense that these are happening naturally. And then when you think about that diagram of how the planets like spiral through space, it just makes sense what we're seeing. You know how it's like this constant swirl all around us, you know. It all fits. Yeah, Sabrina, I see your message just now. Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, we're not going to sit there and argue about it or anything, but it doesn't get to that point, thank goodness. We're pretty chill, mellow people, like drama-free, so. You never know if it's just going to fade off, you know, like if sometimes it's just here for a moment and gone, or if it's going to, you know, continue through the day and get better and better by sunset. Right here, you can see like straight lines, sharp corners, that's when you know you're seeing crafts. There's cubed craft and rectangular craft and triangle crafts. And mostly cubed crafts are most of the time over here with Atu and its moon. Most of the time. And then the rectangular crafts are right at the sun with Isatum, with triangle crafts over here too. And then with Nepicity, I've only seen the triangle crafts so far. I've not, and if you do see a cube with Nepicity, it's because it's really with Atu's moon, which means Atu's moon would be in front of Nepicity at that time. Right, Mindy, yeah, the chemtrails for sure. I mean, you know, you see a few planes at a time, but then you look around and you see all these thousands and thousands of streaks. I mean, those 2 or 3 planes that you're seeing can't do all this. So yes, this is because there's another solar system that is passing outside, just outside Earth's atmosphere. They're between Earth and our sun. So, you know, their dark sides are facing Earth. They're lit up on the other side from the sun, so their dark sides are facing us. So that's why we have a hard time seeing them, first of all. They can be right up on us, which they are, and you can hardly see them. Chemtrail 3. We're up to 3. So, and then also we're seeing them through their atmospheres, because each planet has its own atmosphere. So, you got a lot to look through to see them, but every now and then we get an awesome picture. We have those where you just flat out see planet, you know, when the timing was just right. So that's cool. We have a few of them. 4, Chemtrail 4. So I have videos, I'll share them again, but showing time-lapse footage of streaks just appearing across the sky one after another, with no plane in sight. So what those are is asteroids. So a good amount of the streaks that we see, especially with Nepicity, are asteroid trails, not chemtrails. But man, that's like the best cover-up in the world, for sure. To make people think that they just rule it out that all streaks are man-made. They are just sold out. They're, you know, and all they gotta do is trick people into believing that lie. And I mean, it's secure. They don't have to explain anything else away. They got people brainwashed to explain it away for them. One second. I got myself, there he goes. I'm trying to see your comments. It's difficult because of the lighting. And then also, if I touch my screen one way or the other, you know, it has a mind of its own. Right, asteroid trails. I know, you would never even think about that. Initially, you wouldn't even know to think about that, right? But it's only because of Sam helping, you know, I mean, he's been so patient since like 2017, like super patient. There's no telling how many times he's corrected me, you know, and yeah, I understand. I mean, sometimes Sam could come down on you a little harsh, but it's not to hurt your feelings, for sure. I mean, I'm sure he has some sense of frustration, you know, because he's been doing this for so long, and but I feel like we're making things more clear now, more understandable. So, it's just cool that A, I kind of figured things out as much as I have, and then B, to be able to break it down, because that's how I have to learn it myself. I just break it down as simply as I can, and then relay it to other people and explain it. For years I was in customer service training, so I would work for telecom companies training their customer service reps. So that's kind of what I've done for a long time. So you all can see how things are progressing, now that you all know where everything is, right? I have a feeling now people are going to be acing all the pop quizzes for sure, because it's pretty easy, really. It's complicated at first because there's so much to take in, but when you see how repetitive it all is, the only time it gets tricky is, so we know what hazy sky means. I need to come out on a day where it's more, just Nipissity or more just Attu's moon, because it changes up a lot. But based on what I'm seeing right now, I would say by sunset, it's going to be good chance it'd be Attu's moon in front of Nipissity by sunset. I don't know. That's just kind of how the norm is when it's like this at noon. By sunset, it's like the other day. I missed it. It was Attu's moon in front of Attu, right above the sun. And I was bummed out I missed it, but there'll be other days. Oh, what I was going to say though, I debated for just a second on going where to go live, here or TikTok, but I couldn't not go live here with you guys. So I'm just gonna try to download it and share it to TikTok, because they're very eager to understand this as well. And it's frustrating because you can't send pictures back and forth with people. You can just verbally talk and in short paragraphs, so you can't really get into it. It's difficult to relay information there, but otherwise I really like it. I like all the music and getting creative with stuff. But yeah, that's what's happening here, at least for now. I'd be curious to see what progresses. I'll try to get back out later, but yeah, that's I'm gonna predict, but Attu's moon in front of Nipissity at sunset. We'll see how that plays out, right? Looks like maybe a chemtrail happening here, so number 5. Yeah, but it's unfortunate that there's so many people that's all they need. That's all the evidence that they need is that one plane, and then look at the sky. And then they take pictures and they put it on chemtrail groups, and I mean, yeah, it frustrates me. I don't know what they're spraying, so it's not like I'm all for it, because I think that's wrong too, but definitely it's a cover-up. I mean, they don't care. They'll do whatever they got to do to feed people lies. There's number 6. But you see, under the sun, all of the crisscross and all the streaks happening, that's from debris. that's like prime location, is like right above the horizon level is where we see the dragging effects from OCG, Object Cluster Group, cluster of asteroids. What I like looking at is like you stand here and right above the horizon you can definitely make out a blue curve, you know, and it's like that. Like, so here's area of Ice Atom and Nibiru, and right across is Attu's moon and Attu. So they are, you know, across from each other, and then you got Nipicity sandwiched in the middle. And you can see that perfect curve, especially right there. And so it's like a big scoop. And then we should see a perfect curve right here too, of Attu. And we do. All those little ridges. I mean, it's showing us that something is there. What's cool is it, I mean, it's like atmospheres of other planets. You know, I mean, we all know our sky has changed in the last, 10, 12 years since they arrived in 2009. But we all know in the, 80s or 90s, it did not look like this. So yeah, atmospheres of other planets passing just outside our Earth's atmosphere. That's the same one, and that's the same one. So we're still, I think, at 6. I'm trying to keep track, but I appreciate you all watching. I do. That's cool. I mean, this is like new to me. Yeah, very new. But I feel like it would be nice of me, be helpful to put this information out there, even if it does make me feel a little uncomfortable. So I'm just going to like push through, and it'll get better as I do it more. Okay, we've got maybe number 7. So yeah, I mean, that's a lot of chemtrails at one time. I totally think so, because usually I see like maybe 3, so 7, that just tells me that, yeah, they really want to hide something, and they really want to explain all of it away, what they're trying to hide. They're trying to blend it all in, so it makes total sense. So I'll do one more spin around. So I think we've like covered it all. I mean, that's how simple it is, guys. Once you understand where they're at, I'll come out on days where it's different. It's been like this most of the time though, but I'll make it a point to cover, different appearances, meaning the locations are changed around. And mainly the only difference it can be is Nipicity being directly above the sun, Attu's moon directly above the sun, or sunset, Attu directly above the sun, especially at sunset. So that's mainly the things that can change. Ice Atom is always over here, and Uri is always over here. So it's only a few things can move around. So, okay, so we start with the sun, Ice Atom, all right in here. It looks cool. And then you see the beginnings of Nipicity where it's fanning out right now with that tilted face. So there's that. And then Attu and its moon. I don't see like the lead object standing out like it did earlier, so I was hoping it would get more and more, but add to it its moon, and then right now it looks like Uri. All of those lines of striped effects, horizontal lines, that's for sure Uri. You can really see the texture good right now. I love it when it's like that, like the lighting is just right for just a few seconds, you know, and if you're caught something really, really cool, like you're kind of lucky, you know, because it's all about timing. Alright guys, I guess I'm gonna go hop off of here. I might try TikTok for a few minutes while things are still interesting. Try to give them some better understanding. But I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all are doing well, and I'll chat with you more when I get online. Okay? Alright, love you guys. Bye.